Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we explore personal growth and self-development through the incredible world of books. I'm thrilled to have you here today because this week, I've got something truly special to share, a book that's not just a read, but a life-changing experience. It's called The Power of Mind Makes Life What You Want by the legendary Japanese businessman and philosopher, Kazuo Inamori. This isn't just any book, it's a masterpiece. A distilled treasure of over 80 years of wisdom from a man who's mastered both business and the art of living well. If you're into books, you've likely come across Kazuo Inamori's name before. He's the genius behind classics like The Way of Life Philosophy, The Business Philosophy of Inamori, and Challenge from Zero. These works have inspired countless people around the globe, but today, I want to zoom in on this particular gem, his final book, written when he was nearly 90 years old. Can you believe that within just 1 year of its release, it was translated into 15 languages and shot to the top of bestseller lists worldwide? That's the kind of impact we're talking about here. Inamori, with over 8 decades of living a successful, happy, and wise life, sums it all up in one powerful word: the mind. He teaches us that everything, your successes, your struggles, your entire reality, begins with your mind and ends with your mind. The life you're living right now? It's a reflection of what's going on in your head. Let me dive into the heart of this book and share the core lesson that hit me the hardest, something I think will stick with you too. Ready? Here's the big question Inamori tackles. What's the real foundation for lasting success? His answer isn't what you might expect. No fancy strategies or insider secrets here. Instead, he points to something profound, connecting with what he calls the heart of the universe. To understand this, let's take a closer look at his extraordinary journey. Kazuo Inamori didn't start with a golden ticket. He came from a working-class background in Japan, born into tough times with nothing handed to him. At 27, with grit and vision, he founded Kyoto Ceramics Company, Limited, a small operation that eventually grew into Kyocera, a global leader in technology. Then, at 52, he took on another challenge, launching what would become KDDI, a telecom and electronics giant in Japan. Both companies didn't just survive, they thrived, earning spots on the Fortune 500 list. But the story doesn't stop there. At 78, when most people are kicking back in retirement, Inamori stepped up to rescue Japan Airlines. This wasn't some thriving company, it was a sinking ship, buried in debt and teetering on bankruptcy. In just 1 year, he turned it around, pulling off record profits that stunned the industry. How does someone achieve such jaw-dropping success across totally different fields? Ceramics, telecom, aviation. Like it's no big deal. Here's where it gets interesting. Inamori says it's not about having deep pockets, a prestigious title, or some complex business playbook. His secret weapon? A selfless heart. Yep, you heard that right. He believes that all real, lasting success comes from putting others first. It's a simple idea, but don't let that fool you. It's powerful. A selfless heart means genuinely caring about people, acting with kindness, and prioritizing others' well-being over your own. Inamori's life shows that when you operate from this place, good things don't just happen, they multiply, often in ways you couldn't have predicted. Let's unpack the Japan Airlines story a bit more, because it's a perfect example. When the government begged him to take the helm, Inamori wasn't interested at first. He was in his late 70s, had zero experience in aviation, and frankly, he didn't need the headache. But then he paused and reflected. He saw 3 bigger reasons to say yes. First, saving Japan Airlines would stabilize society and boost Japan's economy. If it went under, the ripple effects would be brutal. Second, it would protect the livelihoods of 32,000 employees. Imagine the devastation if they all lost their jobs. Third, it would keep air travel accessible and affordable for regular folks. If Japan was left with just one major airline, prices would skyrocket and service would tank. That flipped a switch for him. Suddenly, it wasn't about his own comfort, it was about everyone else. So, he said yes, rolled up his sleeves, and led with that selfless heart. 1 year later, Japan Airlines wasn't just back in the game, it was soaring. That's what happens when your why is bigger than yourself. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Okay, live for others, I've heard that before. It sounds great in theory, but it's tough to pull off in real life. I get it, it's not always easy. But Inamori doesn't just leave it at a feel-good slogan. He digs deeper. He believes there's something called your true self buried deep inside you, the purest, most beautiful part of who you are. And here's the wild part. That true self is linked to what he calls the heart of the universe. Picture it like this. The universe has a heartbeat, a force that's always pushing everything toward growth, goodness, and happiness. When you live with kindness, compassion, and selflessness, you're not just being nice, you're syncing up with that universal rhythm. It's like plugging into a cosmic current that carries you forward. Inamori says that when your heart aligns with this bigger energy, things in your life start falling into place. Not by force, but naturally. This isn't just philosophy, it's how he lived. Inamori's big takeaway is that life isn't about stacking up cash, climbing the ladder, or chasing fame. It's about refining your heart and dedicating yourself to others. He didn't stumble into this idea after he'd already made it big. No, he lived this way from the beginning, and that's why he reached the heights he did. It's a universal law he swears by. The more you give, the more comes back to you. Not in a transactional, scorecard kind of way, but in a deeper sense. Think purpose, connection, and a life that feels full. When you live with a selfless heart, you're not losing anything. You're building something lasting. But hold up, having a good heart isn't the whole recipe. Inamori pairs it with what he calls a burning fighting spirit. You've got to have fire in your belly, the kind of determination that doesn't quit when the going gets tough. Let me paint you a picture from Kyocera's early days. They landed a massive order from IBM, huge opportunity, right? Except IBM demanded products 10 times better than what Kyocera could produce with their current setup. Most people would have said, sorry, can't do it. Not Inamori. He saw it as a make or break moment. If they could pull this off, it'd launch them onto the global stage. So, he moved into the factory, worked side by side with his team, and put in grueling hours, day after day, night after night. 7 months later, after relentless effort, they delivered. That order didn't just get filled, it transformed Kyocera into a world-class player. His mantra? Never give up. Success often comes down to that one choice. When everything's stacked against you, do you push through or walk away? So, how do you build a life that's not just successful but truly happy? Inamori gives us 3 rock-solid foundations: gratitude, humility, and diligence. Let's break them down. First, gratitude. Be thankful no matter what. Life's highs don't last forever, and the lows, they're chances to grow stronger. Inamori even says to thank the tough times. They're like a reset button, clearing out old baggage so you can move forward lighter. Second, humility. Keep your ego in check. All the stuff you're proud of, your skills, your wins, even your body and mind, it's not all you. It's given to you. Realizing that keeps you grounded and open to learning. Third, diligence. Hard work seals the deal. Combine a selfless heart with effort, and you've got a formula that lasts. One more thing I can't skip. Your mind is a magnet. Inamori says everything in your life, good, bad, or messy, gets pulled in by your thoughts. If you're always complaining, guess what? You'll find more to complain about. But if you stay positive, you start attracting better vibes. He lived this firsthand. As a kid, he lost family to tuberculosis and caught it himself, thought he was done for. Then a neighbor handed him a book that flipped his perspective. Your mind draws in what you focus on. He stopped wallowing, started studying, and even helped others during wartime chaos. Miraculously, his health turned around, and he aced his exams. That's the law of magnetism in action. Your mindset shapes your reality. Inamori's life was no picnic. War, illness, business crises. But he never let it break him. Why? Because he trained his mind to stay fearless, grateful, and focused. His final words in the book hit hard. Everything begins and ends with your mind. That's the ultimate wisdom from a guy who's been there, done that, and left a legacy to prove it. For a business, a career, or just you as a person, It's not about the slickest strategy or the latest tech. It's about mastering your mind. That's the root of it all. So, that's my deep dive into the power of mind makes life what you want. It's a must read, and I'd love for you to pick it up and find your own takeaways. If this resonated with you, hit that like button, share it with a friend who could use it, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Thanks for sticking with me. See you in the next one.